Welcome to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast. I'm Chris Arnold, your host, and I am excited about today's guest. My favorite interview to do is with a student that's been successful on radio. It's one thing, for me to come in and talk about my program and how great I think it is and so forth. But what you really want to hear are from the students that are actually out there making radio happen in their market. And again, we just have one student after another just getting up on radio, closing deals. And so the proof's in the pudding now, now that we've been doing this for about 5 months. And so today I have Todd Haas, and I'm excited for you guys to get to know him. He's got a great story. So Todd, what's up, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks, Chris. I'm excited about being here and looking forward to this.
Yeah, well, tell us your background. Yeah, tell us about a little bit about how long you've been in real estate, what type of real estate you're doing. Give us a snapshot of what you're doing in the business.
Okay, well, again, my name's Todd Haas. I live in Lexington, Kentucky, and I have been flipping houses in Lexington for 12 years, just a way to make some extra income. I work full-time, and I was going to the auctions here in the city, going to the master commissioner sale, and that's how I was picking houses, getting 2, 3, 4 a year, flipping them. And that kind of dried up with all the flip and flop shows that were out there. People were coming in and I'd want to buy them for X and make 25, and people were buying them for X plus the 25. I'm like, I don't know how they're making money, Chris. And so it just kind of dried up. And I remember having a conversation with a guy who was a wholesaler. We were looking at buying this property. We didn't buy it, but he said, I like my side of it better than yours. And when he said that, I was like, well, I like my side of it. And so, but I put it in the memory bank. It was like, okay, that's something that I'll look into. And then when this dried up, I started listening to the podcast from wholesalinginc.com, and I listened to probably 20 or 30 of those. And that's when I got into kind of the wholesaling side, and I decided to do what Tom and Cody say is take imperfect action, sent out 10,000 mailers. And really, I thought I put $5,000 on red, and it came up black. So it was bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, 2 strikes, and hit a home run, got a house, paid $120,000 for it, and spent $85 fixing it up, and sold it for $282 in 2 days. So
that's great, man. That got you in the game, off the
exactly.
bench. And that's what I love about Tom and Cody. I mean, they're going to help you get that first deal done, which is great. So then you start obviously growing your business a bit. Before you decided to do radio, what have you kind of tried out on the lead generation side? What were you doing to find discounted properties and opportunities?
I really wasn't. I mean, what I did was I sent out those mailers one time, and then when that was done and I had that one house, it was like, okay, I want to get better at sending out mailers and creating my lists and doing that type of thing. And so I was listening to the podcast again, and you came on, and I remember that really well. I mean, you said you can set the ads and you just leave them. You have instant credibility out in the market. And those were things that really appealed to me. And I was really making a decision between becoming a part of the tribe or what to do, join REI Radio. And it was like, that just fits what I want to do. And so, I joined and haven't looked back, and it's been a great investment.
Now, what I really admire is you and I were talking before the podcast is you have that dream like we all had at some point, and many people right now are really striving for that same dream. And that is to really kind of get out of day-to-day working and be able to be an investor, to be an entrepreneur full-time. And so for you and those listening, Todd has to be very strategic with your time, right?
Right.
Because you're balancing both these worlds, which a lot of people listening are having to do. And so let's go to radio. You needed to make a good decision on a marketing channel. You couldn't launch a channel that was going to be an entirely new job. You don't have that type of time. You got to be efficient. So what were the first 2 or 3 things that really attracted you to radio? Why did you choose that off the get-go as a marketing channel?
Well, I felt like it was something that we could create. And it's one of the things that you said, it was something that we can create You can set it, you can leave it, and you're going to just get the calls that come into you. You know that they're going to come, and that those people are wanting to sell their house. And so it was just an easy way to have lead generation without continuing to have to reset up your list and do your mailers and that type of thing.
Maintenance. And
low maintenance. Yeah.
Has that been true? You've been up now for about 2.5 months. Is it low maintenance? Are you having to tweak things, or you just have to answer the phone? Like, let's be honest.
It's low maintenance. You set it up and you leave it, and the phone calls roll, and you work with people to try to see how you can help them.
Yeah. So it's truly set it and forget it. And I love that you're experiencing that, because I'm like you, you know, I'm down in Mexico, and for me to be able to kind of have that lifestyle, I need marketing channels that are low maintenance. I don't want something that's constantly pulling me back in because it needs to be revised and it needs to be tweaked. It just becomes a pain. So set it and forget it was number one. What was maybe the second thing that kind of drew you into making the decision to move forward on radio?
Well, the things that drew me in was that you had been doing it for 9 years and that it was working for you. So I had a really good feeling that it would work. But besides that, I felt like I would get a lot of calls, that would generate off of it. So again, take imperfect action. What do I have to lose but to try it? So it's like, set it and leave it. I'm working full time, take those calls. That was really the biggest appeal.
Yeah. So you mentioned, hey, I've got this kind of vision of, Chris is saying he's been doing it for 9 years. It's going to make the phone ring. So is your phone ringing? What type of call volume are you getting off radio right now?
Well, I got on one little AM station, and I get a call a day, and not all of them. I mean, a call a day, and not all of them work out, but it's amazing what happens, and the credibility that, I've gotten calls from 4 of the 5 big wholesalers in Lexington. They're like, who is this guy? And the 5th one just became friends with me on Facebook. I've met with all 4 of the 5 of them, and so they want a joint venture with me if I find something that I can't move on my own, because, I started this didn't know anything. Didn't have a buyer's list. It's my very first deal is why I ended up flipping it myself. I knew it was a good buy, and so I'm still learning the business, and it works though.
That's great, man. So let me repeat what I hear you saying. You're live on radio, you're getting a call per day, and on top of that, you're now becoming a bit more magnetic, right? Because people are reaching out to you, because 2 things you get with radio is celebrity status and instant credibility. So you said it. I like the way you said it. People are calling me and going, who's this guy? What's this guy up to? And all of a sudden, you're kind of being elevated in the eyes of people in your area that have been doing it longer than you, because that's what radio does. Radio psychologically creates that celebrity status, that instant credibility. Now, you're generating 1 call a day. I'm sure the audience is going, okay, how much are you having to pay per month to make the phone ring once a day with an opportunity on radio? What is the cost on your radio station per month?
Well, I'm running about 37,000 cumes a week is what it is. And I'm paying $7.50 an ad. So I pay $750 a month. So I've been on 2.5 months. So I haven't even spent $3,000 on my ads yet.
So let me, because people are going to go, I don't think I heard those numbers right. If you heard the word cumes, that's REI Radio talk to determine how you evaluate the size of a station. So what Todd is saying, hey, I'm on a small station for my area. It's so inexpensive that it's costing me $7.50 for every 60-second spot that I am playing. I'm playing that spot 100 times on that station per month. Right. So your total cost monthly on this station to generate 1 call a day is $750.
That's right.
That's pretty cheap, buddy.
It is. I just got 2 more stations. I'm so happy with it.
Yeah, so that's really cool. So you've gone from this 1 station, and now you're rolling in and picking up 2 more. So you're going to be on 3 stations, which again, why would Todd be going on to more stations unless it's really been successful for you on setting it up? So I love that. So let me ask you this. I want to take 1 step back. How difficult was it to set radio up, or what was your experience there? Because we know that really the only work on radio is just getting it set up. After that, it's set and forget it. So was it super complicated to understand getting up and going? Like, what was your experience there?
Well, my experience was fantastic. I mean, I got on with REI Radio, and they walk you step by step through the entire process. The actual training itself is short. The videos are short. The longest really period is doing your negotiation with the radio station to get the price, you know, that we're trying to get. I mean, you said it before, we're trying to buy our radio ads for wholesale, and sometimes the radio stations, they don't want to give us that ad. So it takes a little while to negotiate. So that was really the longest part of the whole process. And then as far as setting the ads, the radio station lets you come in, you record it, they make the changes on it, you record it 4 or 5 times, and it's set, and you get on air.
Yeah, I love it, man. That's great. So, and again, that's the thing about radio. We got a little bit of work on the front end to get it set up, but for some of our students like you, man, you just get in and just tear through the program, and you get live and you get up and going, which is great. So people are listening and they're like, okay, he's getting a lot of call volume, 1 a day and so forth. You got a deal done? You've done anything? And I think you and I were just talking about, you got a property you picked up, you rehabbed it, it's under contract and ready to close, and you're about to see a profit margin on it. So tell us what you're seeing on that flip deal, one of the deals you got working right now.
Right. So the very first deal that I got was a house where the people called me, and they didn't seem like that they were in terrible trouble. They just wanted to get out. I suggested even having a realtor list it for them, and they just wanted to sell it. And so I made an offer, and they couldn't do it. They had a bigger mortgage on it than what I was willing to pay. And I said, well, I probably can't get there. And they were willing to come to the table and pay $3,000 just to get out of it. So I bought it for $83,000, put $25,000 into rehab, and put it on the market for $135,000. And we sold it in 2 days, and at a full price offer. So we're going to make, depending on how the inspection and everything goes, $22,000 to $24,000.
So if we did a math on the fact that your budget per year is, okay, if you're paying $750 a month,
right,
multiply that out by 12, right? Well,
I already did.
Kind of round that up maybe to about $9,000, something like that.
Right.
You just closed 20, what'd you say? How much was it again?
22 to 24.
Okay. So you fundamentally just paid for your radio station for the next 2.5 years.
Right.
And that's it. You got other deals coming down pipeline. So everything else obviously is going to just go straight to the net.
Right.
This is what I love about radio. This is why the ROI, in my opinion, is good, because we're buying it at such a discounted rate, particularly like, and people will go, well, is it going to work in my market? I'm in a small market. Okay, Chris, I get it works in Phoenix and Dallas, Fort Worth, but can it work in a small market? And Todd, you're a prime example of getting in and getting a small station and showing how profitable and how quickly you can do that. So Todd, let's flip it. Again, we're excited. Again, I got on with you, like your energy. Even my call this morning, you're like, I got calls coming in. I got 2 radio stations. You're just excited over there. But people are listening, like, give me the other side. Like, what's been maybe the biggest challenge or the hurdle with radio? If someone's going, okay, give me the other side of the coin. Anything I should just be aware of? Anything you experienced that you just didn't like?
No, not really. I mean, it's been overall, it's been fantastic. I would say the thing that you get is sometimes calls outside of your wheelhouse of the area. I mean, yeah. I get calls from places, so you're weeding through some of that, but I'm learning. I would say kind of. I mean, I love the radio. I don't have anything. I get those calls. It's just how to deal with them. How can I make them profitable? Who can I partner with? What can I do? So for me, it's learning the business of taking these leads and how can I turn them into being profitable, and how can I be better at what I'm doing? So that's my challenge. The radio isn't challenging at all. It's awesome. It's just figuring out how to be good at this of getting deals done. Yeah. And that's why I'm still green.
The system side. Yeah.
Right.
Now you're creating the opportunity. Now you got to create the system and the structure to make sure you're capitalizing on those opportunities.
Right. Because I want to build a business, not just make income. What I was doing when I was flipping was making some money that I could spend for my family or pay for private school or vacations. But this is something I see where I know I can build a business around.
Yeah, I love that. And again, if you're tuning in on iTunes and listening and you just want to put a face with the name, go over to YouTube and subscribe to Chris Arnold Real Estate, which is always cool because it's cool to kind of be able to see the videos as well. And we always do additional content on the YouTube too. So Todd, let me ask you this. That's no problem. So Todd, one of the questions I have, is you and I were talking about how you're really making the approach and the goal to be an entrepreneur full-time, to get away from the 9 to 5. And again, most people have this dream, but they don't really step out and do it. You're doing it and you got some specific goals. How has radio supported your ability to balance working 9 to 5 as well as trying to run a business at the same time, which is two big things to have on your plate?
Well, exactly. Well, my dream is to be able to get out of the day-to-day and build a rental portfolio and not have the 9 to 5 job. And so I have a plan to try to do that in 18 to 24 months. That's what my goal is. And what radio has done for me is allow me to be able to get the ads, add additional stations, get additional calls, get more deals done, build my rental portfolio faster without having to use the mailers. And because that's something that you have to reset every 3 or 4 months. You have to create a new list and then put your mailers together and send them out. And I had a good company that did that. And I thought about making some calls when I'm on the road, but I do need to be responsible with the company that I'm currently working for to honor my commitment there as well. So this is a way that does allow me to balance both, and I can hire people to take the calls from 8 to 5 while I'm working and still get deals done.
Yeah. And that's what I love about what you're saying about radio. And this is what I love for the person that's listening going, I'm really trying to make this jump. And that is, you have to balance two really kind of opposing things. You have a 9 to 5 and a commitment there. And then you have this business that you're passionate about, and you're responsible to be the man and fulfill really the duty you have on both sides. And radio at least makes that easier for you by not sucking a bunch of time from yourself. So I totally get that. And again, that's one of the things I appreciate about radio as well. So if you're listening and you're going, man, I just hear one student after another, a guy like you, Todd, comes on and just removes excuses and tells it how it is on the value of radio. It's time for you to book an appointment and see if your market is open. Again, Todd, we limit the amount of people per market. And so we already have some markets that are sold out because we want to preserve radio. But go to wholesalinginc.com/REI Radio. Again, that's wholesalinginc.com/REI Radio. Book a call. Jump on this. And of course, right now is an incredible window because radio stations are even more negotiable with everything that's going on in the current environment. So it's one of the best times, Todd, I've seen really in the last 9-10 years to actually be picking up radio stations. So Todd, if someone's listening and they're kind of on the fence or they're processing and they're like, okay, let's kind of boil this up. What would you say kind of directly to the audience, to someone that's thinking about doing this radio going, I wonder if I should do this? What would you tell them?
All I can say is that the money that I spent to invest in REI Radio wasn't an expense. It was an investment in my future. And I would do it again and again and again. And here's what I would close with is that I love radio. It's fantastic.
That makes me feel happy.
I love it.
I love radio too, and now I'm excited to share it. It's like finding something, and then the real joy you have is when you get to turn to someone to the right and go, do you see that? Isn't that great? And they look back at you and go, it's amazing. That's just human nature. We like to share good things. So Todd, I'm glad that you and I get the bond of sharing a marketing channel that we really both value, because I love radio as well. So Thank you so much, Todd. Thank you for your story. And again, publicly, I just want to give you props for getting radio up, being a great student. And man, you're just off to the races with your business, man. So I wish you the best. And to everyone else, thanks for tuning in. And we will catch you next time to add more value. Talk to you soon.